All right, we'll get this thrown up for you guys while we're going into draft. So, game number 1, Volskaya Foundry. First pick, first ban going correctly over to Gettin Sweaty as we race to grab out their logo. What are you expecting on this map in particular, Mongoose? I hear you have a little bit of experience casting on this map.
I may have had 2 other games on this map already today, and like both of those other times, it's all about your collection of toys. You need to grab those turrets, you need to grab those bionic emitters, and they really help you secure the Triglav Protector, the objective in this battlefield, and of course, win the objective, win the video game.
So we are going to see the Azmodan banned out here early along with the Arel. So right now both teams are kind of taking out the strongest heroes that they can find, I think, at this point.
Yep, Ural, this is the world we live in. Azmodan, Raynor, first ban, Ural, of course, no surprise. So while we're waiting for these teams, we can, I think, introduce our contestants this evening. We have Getting Sweaty. This is their second game. They are on the left side. They got 0-2'd by G Guardian Esports over the weekend. And Obscured is a team both you and I, particularly you, are very familiar with. They got 0-2'd by Bellevue College earlier, and just a couple hours ago played a 1-1 draw with Roll 1 Esports. So that's a big win for them. Roll 1's a solid team, so getting the split with Roll 1 is a nice pickup.
Yeah, Roll 1 Esports definitely going to be, I think, one of the stronger teams in this division. They felt like they were right near the top in B West last time, and we had kind of discussed it earlier, where we felt like a lot of the top teams from B West ended up moving up to A this season because of the way the spreads came out and the divisions moved. So them still staying in B West, I think, speaks to the fact that they're likely to be strong, at least from an MMR standpoint in the division. But we'll see how it shapes up for them. Meanwhile, Obscured, of course, also performed very well. I think passed a lot of people's expectations last season here in B West. And we'll have to see how they get going here early in this season. Meanwhile, Alex Straza and Greymane picked up to go with that Diablo here early. And of all, I have Foundry, very strong combo, not only in terms of this map, but just as these two heroes function in general.
Yeah, you get to take Alex Straza's Globe Quest at 1 and the extra healing and mana on Diablo with the globes. His talents at 1, and they go together like peanut butter and jelly. Diablo and Alex are very strong together, and Alex in particular very strong on Volskaya Foundry in particular. So that's a great pickup, and Greymane is just always solid. He's basically never a banned choice, and boy, oh boy, did they do their homework. Because Obscured, true to their name, as you and I both know, they get out some kind of weird stuff, including just a little while ago using a Combustion Blaze with a Kel'Thuzad to secure the win over Roll 1 Esports.
What's with all the hate on the Frost Mages, man? Jaina banned out. Yeah, a Kel'Thuzad banned out. We are going to see Johanna coming out with Phoenix, though. So right now, you've got the slows from Blaze and that oil spill. We've got the Deckard slows with the Cube. And Phoenix going to come in to try and capitalize on that extra bonus slow damage, probably with the Savo.
Yeah, Phoenix is in a great spot right now. They've shown, obviously, they'll use Combustion. They might use Combustion to combine with the Salvo. Something to think about if they don't go Bunker. Typically in competitive, Bunker is the choice that you see. However, Obscured does kind of march to their own drummer. They run kind of unusual stuff. They were, I think we touched on this earlier, I think they were the 5 seed going into the playoffs last season. They took out a couple of higher seeded teams on the way to meeting you guys in the finals. They ran all melee comps, kind of just obscure things that are hard for other teams to deal with, and they're going to last pick the Zeratul to round out their comp.
And Dare with the host, thank you very much, Day. My good friend Ish from World of Warcraft. By the way, big shout out to that game with the release of Battle for Azeroth, I should say, this week. Looking forward to playing some more of that after we're done with this. But first, the Zeratul coming out. So we're going to have a couple of Protoss Brethren going over from Obscured to try and get some kills. Good finishing potential on that Zeratul, and good backline pressure, which you really need against the Alexstrasza this day and age.
Yeah, and the target is really going to be Li Ming, and actually, I think that's kind of the only really vulnerable one. Greymane to a lesser extent, but getting sweaty here. Going with a double reset, the Li Ming, Greymane, assuming he goes go for the throat, those guys can feed each other resets, and if they get rolling, can really carry a team fight over.
All right, and we are loading in here for game number 1. On the left, we have the blue team getting sweaty. We're going to have beast mode on the Diablo. We're going to have Own Dizzer on the Alexstrasza. Hound of Havoc going to be playing the Li Ming. Wait, what? Going to be on the Leoric. And we're going to have Two Girl Sean on the... who did I miss there? On the Greymane.
And Obscured, the red team, we will have Mumu on Johanna, and Anson on Phoenix, Dank Jank on Zeratul, Unicorn King on Deckard Cain, and BD Dubs on Blaze.
And right away we are going to see just 4 members here of Obscured coming in, but they get a nice amount of damage on Beast Mode to start this out. But right now, it looks like both teams are just going to start the poke war while we got Blaze settled down in the bot lane. BD Dubs getting a little bit of extra XP to get to start it off here for the side of Obscured.
Yeah, I think we had this exact same matchup just last game that we casted. The Leoric into the Blaze. Dank Jank in a little bit of trouble is able to blink away. And Li Ming is caught out with Anson securing the kill. First blood going over to Obscured. Back to that solo lane matchup. Leoric should eventually win that, and you can see it already happening right now. The Blaze can't sustain and clear both against a Leoric. He kind of has to choose one or the other.
Yeah, and Li Ming having a little bit of trouble there, trying to blink over the wall, but without Illusionist at 13, doesn't quite have the range to clear a lot of these walls. Can clear the side walls okay, but not able to jump over a lot of the walls in the actual mid-terrain. Beast Mode, however, getting a little bit low there. Dank Jank does go in to try and finish it off, but he escapes with about 100 health. Diablo just too tanky right now, even before he gets all of these souls. And for now, it's going to remain just the 1 kill for Obscured so far.
Yeah, in that bottom lane, I'm surprised because this is the 3rd time tonight I've seen this matchup. Leoric won both of the other times pretty handily, but Blaze really holding his own. Leoric doesn't quite seem to be able to leverage his tools to push Blaze out and win this wave. It'll be interesting to see when level 4 comes around if Wait What takes Neil Peasants and that sways this bottom lane the other direction.
Yeah, you got to think that that's going to help a little bit, but I think a lot of the solo lane matchup often comes down to who's the more patient and precise in terms of the trading and the self-sustaining. But right now, huge invasion coming in from Obscured. All 5 members are heading in this direction. They have the quicker rotation. Hound of Havoc getting low, but a last-second heal coming in from Ondiz. Going to be able to keep Hound of Havoc up for now. And just like that, we're going to see a nice steal on that camp. So an extra gift here of a turret in the pocket for Obscured as they go in towards this first control point.
Yeah, I think as a new team here, getting sweaty. A way to squeak that logo in at the last minute, by the way. There,
got him.
You know, I think Obscured can catch teams off guard because not only is their comps a little bit creative sometimes, but even their shot calling and stuff, they can catch teams off guard. So you really got to watch them because they're apt to do a little bit of anything.
And right now, Obscure doing a nice job of playing forward, getting a lot of damage onto the back line here. Greymane and Li Ming are really not being enabled here by the Diablo, not really able to get into the back line of Obscured, and instead doing a nice job of focusing on the heroes that really need to be able to be aggressive here in order for them to get kills.
Yeah, for sure. They're already up to 90, going to be 99% here really soon. Worth noting, both Leo and Blaze, neither one made an appearance yet. Leoric is coming up. Now Blaze using the treadmill to come up. A big 5-man condemn into a punish, forcing Gettin Sweaty back. Lots of damage. Those blue health bars are going down fast. Double jet propulsion stun. Not able to quite secure any kills, except Leoric walks 15 hit points. Leoric gets away with. And the Triglav Protector is secured by Obscured. I hope these teams know that we cannot pause for them, but it looks like Jank is back, so no issue there.
Yeah, it looked like it was just a temporary DC here. Both of these teams electing to play today on the Western server, so chance that could have maybe just been a glitch from somebody who maybe wasn't in Western. But either way, very nice advantage here gained by Obscured in the early game. They do have a lot more sustained damage, I feel like. The side of Gettin Sweaty, a little bit more of a burst comp, trying to isolate somebody with that Diablo charge and flip, and have Leo be the chaser as they go in, along with the burst damage of this reset comp from Li Ming and Greymane. Kind of an old school reset comp, but Li Ming is going to end up being taken out here once again. Second death of the game here for that Li Ming. And right now, it's like we mentioned earlier, Mongoose, in our last cast, we had a Li Ming that just wasn't really able to be enabled with those resets. Just not getting a whole lot of value on that pick right now.
Yeah, when Volskaya Foundry was first released into Heroes, the Triglav Protector was comically underpowered. I mean, the strategy for teams was literally just only put one person in it. But since they've changed that, it has gone in the other direction. And if you're either low on health or one of those backliners, you cannot disrespect the damage of that Triglav Protector. Because it's really a monster in team fights in particular.
Yeah, right now we do see Obscured with a big level advantage. I like that call of them taking that Protector up to the top lane. We see the level 10s actually coming out. Savo's going to come out, still trying to really put the fear into Havoc there. But they get that top fort down. They get a lot of extra XP now that that XP has been transferred into those forts. And not only that, but now there's no fort and no well for the side of Gettin Sweaty to fall back to on this next control point, which will be in that top lane.
Yeah, Salvo is a really interesting heroic. We saw Anson use it there. I actually think it wasn't a bad use of it because he used it so early that it'll be back up before the next objective fight, so it was basically a free utilization of it, if you will. But if you don't proc the slow damage, the bonus damage from your targets being slowed, it's actually pretty unimpressive. But if you do get the slow onto the targets and proc the bonus damage, it does a lot of work.
Yeah, I think if anything, it could also be used for zoning, which I think that may have been here from Anson. A good opportunity for them to be able to make a little space to retreat after they maybe had pushed in a little bit too far in mid. But at the end of the when you get hit with a Savo, your initial instinct is not to engage, but rather to run away, to give yourself some breathing room, not take extra damage, and most importantly, not get slowed to take bonus damage from that Savo. So maybe just a little bit of a disengage tool there.
And I draw your attention, Mr. Jason, to the heroic selection of Senor Blaze.
Oh my, here comes the combustion once again.
So that's going to be combustion with salvo. That's where they're going to get the slows, either that or from the Herodric Cube. But that's where they're going to get the bonus damage from the Purification Salvo, is on the back of the combustion and the back of the Herodric Cube.
Yeah, and meanwhile for Obscure, they're also going to go ahead and pick up the Blessed Shield along with that Might of the Nerazim for those extra resets on abilities for the Zeratul. And then for the side of Gettin Sweaty, we're going to see the Apocalypse along with Disintegrate, March of the Black King. It's going to be the Lifebinder, that new buffed OP heroic from Alexstrasza. And once again, we're going to see Go for the Throat here as they look to try to enable this reset comp. By the way, orb build from Li Ming.
Now, I don't know if you saw there, we talked about after the draft that Jank is going to be picking on Li Ming. He went onto her, did his combo, blinked back out, and she went from 100 to 50 health in a snap. So really want to watch Dank Jank putting pressure on the onto the Li Ming.
Once again, Dank Jank with a momentary DC here. He is going to come back, though, so looks like they're just going to go ahead and back up long enough to get 13. Now that they have 13, they look to re-engage. Mumu goes in with the Condemn. Two-Girl Sean looking to try to re-engage, but does get the Life Binder, so we'll be healed back. The full Beast Mode, though, getting kind of low. So now they don't have that Life Binder for the Diablo anymore, but we are going to see a big three-man Stay a While and Listen come out here. The Sabo coming out on the back end, but not really applying the slow, not getting the desired damage. Dank Jank getting low. He's going to be the first to fall, but they'll trade him out for the Greymane. We're going to see Leoric going down, but Beast Mode is on the wrong end of this combustion. We'll be able to charge out to BD Dubs, but it's all for naught here. Going to be going down. Hound of Havoc will probably make it out here, still trying to go barely out of range of that charge, but this is going to be a big moment for Obscured as they get this Triglav Protector marching into the top lane right onto the wall.
There was a little bit of a misplay by Beast Mode on Diablo right at the start of that engagement. He actually popped APOC, and it was a really good one, and they would have caught Zeratul in it, but he actually overpowered him outside of the range of the APOC stun. I think there was a good chance that Zeratul would have gone down early in that fight, where he actually caught in that APOC.
Meanwhile, we do see the front wall go down. But interesting decision here on the macro. They decided to put just Johanna in that protector. So for most of this, they haven't had a gunner, which is pretty interesting. They are going to go ahead and put Deckard in there just for a bit here at the end. But 15 seconds left on this protector. It's pretty much not going to get any more value. They get the front wall of that keep, but is that really worth the protector when they maybe could have taken it to bottom and pressured a little bit into that bottom lane before this next one? They do get the mid fort, however, as they finish off this protector.
I mean, it really depends on where they go with this. If they take 16 and leverage that into prepping the bottom lane, then it was worth it. A huge jet propulsion into salvo, into combustion, and down go Greymane, down go Diablo.
It's a huge combination from Obscured. It's going to pick them up to level 16, 3-level lead, and this is going to be a very long period of talent tier advantage where they can pretty much march around the map and do whatever they want. You see here they're invading and stealing the camp from Gettin Sweaty. They're going to be able to rotate out and grab themselves the support camp. I wouldn't be surprised if the next stop is the turret camp over on the side of Gettin Sweaty's side of the map down there in the bot lane. They just kind of do whatever they want.
Yeah, Obscured's going to be bringing a lot of toys to this next objective for sure. You know, we don't see combustion much in like organized competitive HOTS, and it's not because it's a bad heroic. It's a perfectly fine one. It's just that Bunker is so freaking good. So it's kind of fun to see something here a little different, a little kind of out of step with the competitive meta, and they're really doing some good things with it thus far.
We will indeed see the invasion and the steal on the turret, but Hound of Havoc going to try and interrupt that. The Stay a While and Listen comes down, and it's going to give a little bit of room for Obscured to back up and try and stall out this engagement. They do go ahead and drop the healing totem there. Now we're going to see BD Dubs dropping down the combustion, but Phoenix is the first to fall. Resets are coming in for Hound of Havoc, but can they find another kill is the question here. Wait, what getting kind of low on the back end. So many members low, though, still of Obscured. The spread damage is huge. If they can just get one of these kills, they can really start to trigger that Li Ming to get a lot of resets. There's another one. But it looks like for now, the rest of the members of Obscured are going to leave after just a 2-for-1 exchange here as the Leoric goes down as well.
When that fight started, that was a 3-level discrepancy that Gettin Sweaty engaged into. And getting a 2-for-1 team fight win when you're that far down in levels is a really big deal. That's a big win for Gettin Sweaty. Leoric, played by Wait What, had a huge March of the Black King right in the middle of that, comboed into an APOC, and it really turned that fight around. Yeah,
we are going to see Anson going ahead and starting the camp up in the top lane. They're going to get this pushing as the control point is going to be started in the bot lane. Going to force Gettin Sweaty to choose between possibly losing some keep damage in the top lane over the long haul here or contesting. Most teams will still go ahead and push the objective, as we do see Gettin Sweaty stepping on the control point to start this off.
Yeah, and the fruits of that 3-level down win are right here. They're now on the same tier awaiting this objective. Leoric gets caught out, takes a lot of damage. Wait, what? Had run into the loving arms of Alexstrasza for some heals. Now Obscured getting aggressive. Jet Propulsion hits nobody. A Shadow Charge and an Overpower. Unicorn King in trouble despite the story time. Purification Salvo goes down. It's a 1-for-1. Deckard for Greymane, and the fight rages on.
Yeah, BD Dub's still in the middle of this. Wiz going to get overpowered, but Beast Mode is going to be the one to fall. Hound of Havoc not quite able to find the combination damage that they're looking for here. And Greymane already down, so I don't know where the kill potential is going to really come from here. As a ton of damage coming out from Dank Jank, and is going to finish off the Li Ming even under the tower. Not even worried about it here. And all the while, Mongoose, this wave is pushing into top, going to be threatening the top keep, and Obscured has one in the bot lane and is going to end up getting quite a lot of percentage here before Gettin Sweaty can even hope to contest this.
Yeah, Gettin Sweaty's posturing like they want to take this 5-on-4. They have enough time for Greymane to get here, but he's clearing top instead. That means you're pretty much conceding this Triglav Protector. That was a really great kill by Dank Jank, really showing off might of the Nerazim and picking on that target that we said he was going to be laser focused in on when Li Ming went down there.
Yeah, and that's really what that pick was for. I think it was the disruption of the Li Ming. That's what he needed to do all game. And right now, Obscured just doing a great job of executing the comp that they've built here, which is, you know, the slow combinations from the Phoenix, and then Zeratul as the finisher once they're chunked.
And not only that, has he timed the blink under the tower to right when the minions arrived. So he actually didn't tank very much at all. So he was really patient, knowing he could get the kill and take minimal damage to himself.
Meanwhile, pressure is going to be put on this top lane. Obscured still with this laser focus on trying to go ahead and take down the top keep, and Diablo going down is going to be a huge moment in this matchup. Can they continue to defend here? This may have gone from keep to possibly the end of the game, as they do still charge in, and Dank Jank goes in and gets the finishing kill onto Leoric as well. They're now looking to chunk out the Greymane. Moo not going to let him go for free. The slows are still in. That's going to be yet another kill. So right now, 2-for-0.
It looked like before that kill they were going to try to get another keep down, but I think once the kill was secured on Greymane, the core call was made and the Triglav Protector started walking back. This is going to be close, but I think this should be game one in favor of Obscured.
Yeah, with just Alexstrasza and Li Ming, there's definitely not going to be enough for them to defend this. Not enough damage to put down onto that Triglav. And that's going to be game one, going over in decisive fashion to Obscured.
Absolutely. I think we might see a Zeratul ban game two.
Yeah, I wouldn't put it past them. I think it would definitely be warranted. I do think that the Zeratul maybe is something that they wouldn't pick super early, because it is very easily counterable, and it was a last pick. But I don't know. We'll have to see. I could see it maybe getting second banned,
Right.
or I guess third banned would be the proper phrase for that now.
Yeah, that was a pretty commanding performance by Obscured. They're kind of riding that wave of that set with Roll 1. They're in practice and ready to go, playing back-to-back games tonight. So trying to close out the last of their round one with a 2-0, and that would actually leave them at even 3-3 for the first couple weeks here of the season.
Yeah, and that's a pretty good start. You know, if you end up just kind of because a lot of times you can have some problems in the early season getting your synergy together, you know, figuring out what your team's strengths and weaknesses are, and just to come out even, I think, is definitely something that you can put up as a positive. to keep yourself in. If you fall behind early, it can sometimes be hard to come back. But I do kind of like this new playoff structure that we're going to be going into with the wild card weekend, and every team will at least get the opportunity to make those playoffs regardless of how the regular season went.
Yeah, they're opt-in wild card weekend, and not only can Obscured, assuming they were to win this game too and go 3-3, not only would that feel good to be 3-3, but two of the teams they played is a 6-0 Bellevue College and a 5-1 Roll One Esports. So they got some tough draws to start with, and to leave those draws out of the round 3-3 and not having to play those teams in the regular season again would feel. I think if I were those guys, I'd feel like we were in a great spot.
Yeah. All right, so we are going to move on here to game number 2, which is going to be played out on one of my favorite maps, Infernal Shrines. If you liked that big Triglav Protector jumping on people, oh, you just wait, ladies and gentlemen. We've got an even better jumper here in game number 2.
And I'm just happy it's not Volskaya Foundry again.
We've had enough of that match for one night, that map, I do believe. Call it a day for Volskaya. We'll go ahead and get this set up for you guys for game number 2. What kind of stuff do you really like to look out for here on Infernal Shrines in terms of draft priority, Mongoose?
Alex Straza.
Yeah, well, there you go.
I mean, she's so good on both Volskaya Foundry and Infernal Shrines are really her top maps. I think she's first pick, first bannable on Shrines and Volskaya in particular. I don't think she's that way on all maps. She's always solid, but on those two in particular, she's so good. Also, Johanna is excellent. She's one of the few main tanks who can really significantly contribute to the clearing out of the Shrine Guardians. She's also excellent in the 4-man double wave rotation. You don't really see it much, but Rag can also be good here to go into Molten Core and secure those last few Shrine Guardians, or to help defend John Cena. So we'll see where these guys go with this. I'm particularly interested to see what Obscured does, because they can cook up some fun things.
All right, so looks like both of these teams are ready to go. We're going to head straight on into game number 2. We are going to be, as I said before, on Infernal Shrines. Obscured looking to secure themselves a 2-0 in this series and close out a decent first phase. Getting sweaty, trying to come back here and at least walk away with 1 point tonight. First pick, first ban, going to go ahead and go over to Obscured this time around. We'll have to see if they change up any priorities, and for Getting Sweaty, I'm going to be looking to see what adjustments they decide to make in this game number 2.
If you're Getting Sweaty and you pull out the split here with Obscured, I mean, that's, as a new team, getting split off of a team that was a division finalist in the championship set last year, last season, that's got to be a good place to be. So you bounce back, you had a rough game, maybe make some adjustments here, be a little self-reflection and see if you can get your team moving in the right direction. You don't see many Leoric first bans, though. Obscured, not wanting to deal with the Leo last game. He did have a couple of big plays in that team fight that Getting Sweaty won. It was on the back of a huge March of the Black King.
Yeah, meanwhile, the response ban as well from Getting Sweaty as they take out the Johanna. You kind of like the evolution of the meta within the match on some of these. You can see it a little bit more in, 3 to 5 game series. You'll start to see that take shape, but you can see it in these first couple of bans. They think they've isolated what those main problems are, and we might even see some more of those very strong meta picks come in. Not the Azmodan, not the Rainer. This is still the world that we live in 2018 HOTS, but the Malthael first pick. This I did not see coming.
not just first pick mouthfeel, the insta-snap
Yeah.
pick on the mouthfeel, and no hesitation. This is, yeah, as a caster, I really like watching how drafts between teams evolve. It's a little less obvious early in the season in a 2-game set. You see more of it as teams learn each other, not even by necessarily playing, but watching each other in the VODs and the stats of the
scouting,
storm.
yeah.
Yeah, so as the season goes on, you'll see less and less meta bans and a little bit more in the way of targeted specific both player and team bans, just like we've seen here in Game 2.
So we'll see Blaze and Stukov coming out, so already getting sweaty, making that adjustment. Going to the Stukov, which the Admiral has not been quite as high in the meta, but both teams are going to go ahead and pass on the OP Alex Straza here on one of her best maps, and we're going to see Rhaegar Tyrael, so double Angel coming out here from the side of Obscured. Very dive heavy, very melee centric right now, which is kind of a Obscured specialty from last season. And we'll have to see. Against Stukov, that kind of dive potential can be very scary to have to deal with.
Yeah, and then maybe the sanctification is to... Well, I was switching.
Now, wait a minute. Sanctification.
But we do need...
Judgment!
Maybe. You know, I saw a team run it in Div B just last week. They ran like a single out somebody and blow them up hero, and a Stukov with no cleanse. You could do it.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. That's pretty crazy. I do think that obviously Sanctification, especially on this map, has a ton of value. But we're going to see the Tychus band out here. Now, wait a minute. Okay, the Cho'Gall comes out from Gettin Sweaty. I almost wonder, is that a panic pick for the side of Gettin Sweaty? Because I think Obscured might have been going Cho'Gall.
You know, maybe, and we know, Obscured plays a good Cho'Gall. So I wonder if that's going to send Obscured here into a panic pick themselves. That timer is going all the way down, and it's going to be Diablo Phoenix, Lightning Breath, Salvo. But
business is picking up, man. I'll tell you.
I mean, picking a Cho'Gall into a Last Rites and a Mouthfeel can be a little dicey. So those players need to be very wary of Last Rites. Although Bunker is there too. So
yeah, I'm a little disappointed, honestly, that we didn't see the Greymane instead of the Phoenix. The combination of Cursed Bullet with the Malthael Last Rites almost guarantees a kill on the Cho'Gall, because you just need to get that 33% damage in between the initial Cursed Bullet and the Last Rites to get the kill. But I don't know. I feel like it was almost a checkmate situation for Obscured, because they had banned out one of the biggest counters in Tychus, picked up one of the other biggest counters in Malthael. And so it's like, either you're going to give us this hero that you can't counterpick, or you're going to have to pick it, and we already own one of the counters. So I don't know. I feel like Obscured might have just drafted themselves to a win in this one.
Yeah, and the question, and also Leoric banned too.
Right, yeah.
As well. But I think the question is going to be, it's one thing to sniff out the Cho'Gall in the draft and draft him yourself. But if it's not something you work on, you know, you're drafting yourself into a situation that your team is maybe not particularly familiar with. So we really want to keep a close eye on the Cho'Gall play of Getting Sweaty. Was that 100% a pick as a denial, or do they in fact play Cho'Gall?
Couple shout outs real quick before we get this started. Odd Thought, thank you for the raid and the 11 people. Welcome everybody coming over from Odd Thoughts stream. We have game number 2 coming in here for you, and also Moist Weenus with that 100 bits. Less than 3 right back at you, brother. Let's go ahead and get into this. Getting Sweaty on the left. We're going to have House 36. I mean, House 32X on the Cho'Gall. Two Girl Sean going to be playing the Zul'jin. Wait, what? Playing the Blaze. And Ondiz going to be on the Stukov.
And for the red team, Obscured, Ans Anson on the Phoenix, BD Dubs on the Diablo, Mumu on Tyrael, Rhaegar, played by Unicorn King, and excuse me, whoa, my game is wigging out. Dank Jank on Malthael.
Yeah, we had a pause. Let's see if we can figure out what's going on between these teams here.
Well, I let them know in Discord that Mechaterial is a banned skin, so I think they're seeing if the other team is cool with proceeding or not. Also, by the way, my game crashed, so I will be rejoining momentarily.
Okay, yeah. So we do have confirmation from Gettin Sweaty. They are okay with the banned skin. I think that's kind of the feel, because I think I think the Angel Diablo is only the one tint, like the pink tint is banned.
It's the Mechaterial that's banned.
Okay, yes, but also there's a banned Archangel Diablo skin, and he's on he's on the Archangel one, but he's not on the tint, I believe, that's banned. But yeah. Anyway, so we are going to go ahead and go on into this game number 2. We'll have to see how this rotation goes. I'm very interested to see, because are you back in game, Mongoose?
It is rejoining, so it's all you, bud.
All right. So we do have up in the top lane Malthael versus Blaze. That's going to be a really tough situation here for Wait What to have to overcome. Both do have some good self-sustain in lane, but Malthael is going to be able to get a lot more self-healing, especially in lane with those minions here, as we do see the rotation beginning here between mid and bot, but an early camp going to be started here for the side of Gettin Sweaty. Send the Cho'Gall to start on that camp.
So I am back, by the way.
Woohoo! That was lonely. Even just for a few minutes. Mumu coming in, though. They're not going to let him have this for free. The charge in from BD Dubs. But a huge silence coming down here. We are going to see Unicorn King coming in on the back end. And with Cho'Gall getting chunked out, he's going to have to back up. We even see Malthael rotate down to the mid. So they're calling all hands on deck down to that camp attempt. But that's okay. He'll get back up here in time. He was pretty good in the lane as it was.
Yeah, I don't know if you remember, but this is a carbon copy of Game 1 went obscured, invaded on a camp and took it right away from Gettin Sweaty, and they do it one more time.
Yeah, one of those things about having good macro is sometimes the good macro is very predictable and easy to counter. So sometimes it's almost better to be anti of whatever the good macro is at the time, and that means, you know, heavy invasions, and if you've got the comp for it, as Obscure does, that could be a very effective way to play the game.
And anytime you're on a Cho'Gall, you have a Cho'Gall comp, Cho'Gall really comes online at 13 and 16. That's when he becomes an absolute monster. So Obscured wants to get up on him, get the early lead. You don't want to let Cho'Gall scale into the late game. So let's see how this game goes.
Meanwhile, we do see Obscured getting started onto the Shaman camp. It's an interesting timing on it, because at the end of the day, the members of Gettin Sweaty are still going to be in the top lane with this shrine, going to be able to clear it out. But I like the pressure. It forces them to have to clear it. Meanwhile, Zul'jin going down in the rotations here in the bot. Didn't see BD Dubs, I think, out and about there as he was going toe-to-toe with the Phoenix.
Yeah, Obscured actually has really nice map presence right now. Phoenix is still pushing bottom. They have map push mid, or Merc push mid. They have Merc push top, and they're actually winning a 4-on-4 here in the top lane as Zul'jin is on his way. However, Cho'Gall starting to do some work now. Dank Jank and Mumu getting low. Zul'jin now joining the fight, and Obscured needs to be careful. Phoenix is not here. They will lose this if they keep fighting into this here, and I think this first objective probably going to go over to Gettin Sweaty here.
Well, I sure hope so. Look at the lane presence right now for Obscure. They've got camps pushing in all 3 lanes. If Gettin Sweaty doesn't get this objective, this is almost, I'm not going to say GG, but it's definitely not a good way to start out the game if you're Gettin Sweaty. And they're being pushed back right now out of the objective range. But the Malthael overextends, and they do end up losing the Malthael, but it's going to be very close on the shrine here.
Yeah, Maltheo got a little bloodlust on with the Shogal. Really wanted to finish the kill, wasn't able to do it, and gives them the paying for it. Now we have another barroom brawl. 36 for Obscured, now 39, and Obscured secures it.
Oh, man.
And they pick up a Zul'jin as well. Man, that could not have gone worse for Getting Sweaty.
Yeah, the late commitment, the side side soaking, the picks onto Zul'jin, now 2 of those right in a row. But once again, we've got a member of Obscured going in a little bit too far. Mumu will be able to throw out the shields and save BD Dubs from himself with less than 100 health. But we are once again going to see Maltheo down here quickly to get the camps, and Obscured playing a very good macro game right now. Have secured themselves almost a level lead, despite the fact that they haven't really gotten all that much structure damage, at least in terms of XP. But they still have about that level lead right now.
But look at the map. Red, red, red everywhere. And with one less body in the form of Cho'Gall and a Zul'jin who does not bring a lot of wave clear, Getting Sweaty's going to have a real hard time reining control of this map back.
So right now we do have Wait What going up to the top lane to soak. They're trying to catch up in the XP, but Ants Anson is up here to answer to that. We're going to see BD Dubs in the bot lane putting pressure, and Dankjank kind of doing the connection hokey pokey right now. But you know, with Maltheo, it's all right as long as the UI is just making sure to hit Q all the time to heal. It's probably fine.
Probably okay. Definitely would rather have bot Maltheo than bot Xerxes.
If you want a good bot, it's got to be something that's very focused on having good good aim. Like you really like a bot Ana, for instance.
Well, I think bot Muradin is best bot because he's won an HGC game and he has a Twitter account.
Oh, well, that's fair. What about Johanna though? Like I played with bot Johanna and she's just OP. Because basically, when you play Johanna, you play like a bot. You want to be constantly overextended, pressuring the backline heroes, and just not really peeling as much. You know, just going ham basically.
Now, for better or worse, here, Getting Sweaty has seemed to have very little regard in both of those for talent tier discrepancies, rotating hard into the bottom lane despite not having level 10s.
Well, and that's really okay. Obscured is completely split right now, so they're not really taking advantage of this level 10 advantage and these heroics. But speaking of those heroics, they are out once again. Ants Anson going with the Salvo. It is going to be Lightning Breath here from BD Dub. Sanctification is the choice. Sad day we don't get to see the Judgment shenanigans along with Ancestral. And it's actually going to be the Tormented Souls instead of that Last Rites coming out from Maltheo. I feel like that's almost a missed opportunity here for the side of Obscured.
When casting, I try to not criticize too much. I try to look at kind of all angles, but I really think that's a mistake with the Cho'Gall.
Yeah.
I mean, I suppose they do have Bunker. They do have Molten Core at 13 if he goes there. So there are some mitigations to it. Well, wow, nice job by Dankjank. But the Last Rites is great on Blaze too if the Bunker's not available.
Dankjank making the plays there. No Bunker came out. I don't know. I think could have popped the Bunker to maybe survive there. It's a pretty low cooldown, but we are going to see the Salvo coming out, and that's going to be a dead Cho'Gall as well. So 3-for-0 exchange just randomly across the map, and meanwhile the camp still pushing into the top, and right now everything coming up Obscured at this moment.
Yeah, I mean, we know Obscured plays Cho'Gall and plays him well, and one of the advantages to that when you play against a Cho'Gall is you kind of know how to deal with it, because you know what works against you. So early game, mid-game, once again, very much in favor of Obscured, and now Maltheo is double soaking, and actually I lied. He rotated onto the objective and is free clearing. I thought we were catching him in rotation, but Obscured is going to get this objective for free.
Yeah, he's soaking up the shrine about double fast as anybody else could on the map right now, but Tyrael gonna end up falling there in the bot lane, so a pick off here for Gettin Sweaty. However, they are gonna turn, the lightning breath's gonna come out, and that's gonna be a double kill in the form of Cho'Gall going down. Ancestral is gonna have to be popped here from Unicorn King, however, but Taz Dingo gonna be popped in return, and he's not gonna be able to walk away from the Diablo. That's going to be another kill going over to the side of Obscured. Meanwhile, John Cena, the most terrifying of the Punishers as well, the Arcane Punisher, starting to push down this mid lane.
Yeah, with all the brawling in the bottom lane, Dank Jank just kind of strolled over to the objective, took it all by himself, and Gettin Sweaty basically ignored it.
Yeah, this has been kind of a crazy matchup in terms of just how the macro's gone, and have we seen a 5v5 yet in this game, Mongo? I don't think we have.
No, and even in game one, Leoric and Blaze were constantly in a little 1v1 in the offlane. It was mostly 4v4s, and once again, Gettin Sweaty having no regard for talent tiers. They just kind of go in there and brawl, and it's going to cost Cho'Gall going down and Gettin Sweaty on a full-scale retreat.
Yeah, but the retreat's not going to go too well for Wait What. He will pop the bunker, but it's only going to be slowing the inevitable here, and that's going to be another triple kill going over to Obscured. Currently 11-3 in the kill count. They capture the mid camp, and now they're going to look to pressure this mid keep.
Yeah, all members of Gettin Sweaty will be up here momentarily, so at least they will be here to defend. However, they're about to be 2 talent tiers down for the next 10 seconds or so.
Yeah, 13s will be picked up here by Gettin Sweaty as they look to defend. Spear throwers are starting to march in, though, and looks like for right now, Obscured making the smart decision here. Malthael getting the bottom camp. No need to push in and give the opportunity for catch-up. We actually saw that a little bit in the last game where they made that mistake and extended when they had a big level advantage and actually gave up a 2-for-1 exchange, which gave a good opportunity for Gettin Sweaty to catch up. So they don't want to see that happen again here, especially when they don't stand to gain anything off of it.
Shadow Bolt Volley went out from Cho'Gall and actually hit nobody. So a full invasion here for Obscured. They do secure the bruiser camps, and Obscured, they're just going to march around the map, take every camp, take every lane, and there's really not a good opportunity coming here in the near future for Gettin Sweaty, to be honest.
Yeah, unless they can bait Obscured into a fight that they want to force. I agree. It's just going to be a long road to 16 for them. The next objective is we're going to hear that ping any second now for that next objective. But we are seeing a big engage here in the top. They pushed in pretty far. They've got a long way to get to safety. Wait What does go in with that charge and gets a big stun. The bunker has to go down, though. They are pushing back here against Gettin Sweaty. They know they have the percentage advantage, and now Dank Jank going in so deep with that Tormented Souls, all the sustain in the world, and just one swipe gonna come out before he falls. We are going to see the Taz Dingo coming out, and it does get the kill onto the Diablo. It is going to reset his souls, and he'll be coming back soon. Now all of a sudden it's Obscured on the run. Sanctification gets popped, but in the retreat, which is going to get about next to no value. But now the counter turn onto the Cho'Gall. Mongoose, help me out, man. What just happened here?
That was a wild series of events. I actually really liked that engagement from Gettin Sweaty. Malthael wasn't there. It was a 5-on-4. They managed to use Twilight Hammer to isolate some members of Obscured under their own tower. So that was as good of a fight as Gettin Sweaty was going to get.
Yeah.
However, they still weren't able to capitalize on it and ended up losing what's going to ultimately be a mid-keep and another objective as Mouth just waltzed down to objective one more time. Gettin Sweaty hasn't been at any of these objectives Since the first one, they just haven't been in a position to realistically do so.
Yeah, now they have level 16, and all their members are up. They could conceivably go contest, but look, the counter's already at 35. They won't even get there in time to contest, let alone have an opportunity to get it even if they were there. So agreed. It's bad timing right now for Gettin Sweaty. And now a second keep is going to be under fire here. And as much as the Arcane Punisher is very scary, the advantage with the Mortar Punisher is he can put a lot of extra PvE damage down and siege damage onto these structures with those fire circles. Or at the very least, it's area denial. So the side of Gettin Sweaty going to have to try to burn this thing down as fast as they can.
Yeah, you know, the Arcane Punisher gets a lot of love for the team fighting damage and zoning, and justifiably so. But the damage from the Mortar Punisher, the siege damage in particular, I think is often underrated. However, John Cena went down fast there, and we have another full engagement. Cho'Gall, the first to go down. This might be the beginning of the end here.
Yeah, they're starting to go back into the back lines here of Gettin Sweaty. Wait, what is going to be charged and stunned and taken out here. And we're going to see Zul'jin having to back up to avoid that Savo damage, but it looks like everything's pushing in. And it looks like Obscured has confirmed themselves a domination in this matchup. 2 points going over to them. Very impressive as they obtain the second victory here on Infernal Shrines.
And that was pretty funny there. Gettin Sweaty kind of saying they did pick it as a denial and they wanted to know if Obscured was in fact going into Cho'Gall. One member of Obscured said yes, one said no, and the other said, I don't know.
That's pretty obscured of them, I will say.
For the record,
so
I think
meta.
they were.
Yeah, let's be honest. We all know where they were going with that. You mentioned that I knew that they liked Cho'Gall pretty well. I honestly wish I didn't know all that well, but we are where we are. So
and for anybody that doesn't know what we're referring to, Jazon's Divine 9 met Obscured in the Div B West Finals last year, or last season, I should say, and Obscured pulled out a Cho'Gall and a Game 2 victory, I believe it was, right? Game 2?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, backs against the walls, they went into that Cho'Gall, and we didn't have an answer for him, but we hopefully will have an answer by Anson here very soon, as he will hopefully hop in with us for a little bit of an interview here.
It looks like it's actually going to be Unicorn King jumping in here.
Okay.
So, well, I can't find him. Let me see if is his Discord name different. Some of these guys do Discord different than Battle.net, and it complicates it. Yeah, pretty commanding performance there by Obscured. You know, I do wonder, though, Gettin Sweaty in that draft, they picked the Cho'Gall. I wonder if they didn't realize until after the ban why they didn't just simply ban the Cho'Gall and draft Standard if that's not something to play.
Right.
Hello?
Hello!
Hey.
Well, congratulations, sir. You guys got a big win tonight. How are you guys feeling right now?
Oh, I'm not the winner. I'm the loser. Do I leave?
I mean, you're welcome to stick around.
Oh, no, I just thought we were both joining after. I'll leave, though.
Oh, okay. That's my mistake. I actually didn't see the name that was on there. I thought we had Unicorn King on here.
It's okay. Talk to you later.
Yeah, no problem, man. Whoops.
Wah wah. All right, gonna get Unicorn King, or yeah, Radiant Unicorn / Unicorn King in here.
There we go. That works.
Yeah, so I wonder if Gettin Sweaty actually plays the Cho'Gall, or they only picked it as a denial, and if they don't play him, why it wouldn't have just been a ban as opposed to, you know, a pick denial?
Yeah, I almost wonder if they just didn't see it in time to ban
until
it.
after the ban.
You know,
yeah.
the Malthael pick and the Leoric ban, you know, were kind of hints. But if you weren't familiar with it as an idea, I could see where the Tychus would really be that light bulb. And
Right. Welcome, guys.
Hey.
Hello.
All right, well, I guess I'll ask you the same question I just accidentally asked the other team. But you guys get a big win here early in the season. How are you guys feeling right now?
We're feeling a lot better. Our first game was kind of rough communication-wise. We have some new people on the team, and we also took like a month off, so we didn't really play much. But today felt a lot better communication-wise, and Jason, we really tried to give you that Cho'Gall game the last game, but they stole it from us. They stole it. We were hovering it and everything, and they stole it.
Yeah, I was a little surprised when I saw that out. I'm not gonna lie, when I saw the Tychus ban, it was the light bulb for me where I saw you guys were gonna probably go Cho'Gall, but then I was surprised they decided to pick it up. I had mentioned in the chat right after that I felt like that was almost a checkmate moment since you guys already had the Malthael. That you guys were probably going to win that match.
Basically. Yep.
Yeah, we basically chose Malthael because we knew he could jungle easy, he could solo lane easy, and if they did scout it out, and steal it from us, then we had an easy counter.
Yeah. So very well drafted there. Of course, game one, you guys also controlled a lot of that map through good macro play. Tell me a little bit about your guys' first draft and your first game experience there as well.
First game? Yeah. In the first game, we were just interested in having a bit of a wombo combo game. We actually played it earlier tonight against Roll 1 and had a bit of success with it, so we figured that we would just bring it back for our second match.
Yeah, and we were going to have KT as well, but they banned that out the last ban, so that kind of changed it a little bit. But Zeratul worked well.
Yeah, so one guy's...
When he wasn't disconnected anyway.
Right. Yeah. I'm going to save that for a follow-up question in just a second, but one question that I definitely wanted to ask you guys was about how you guys felt about where you fell in the divisional changes, where you guys finished near the top in Div B, but you guys still end up staying in Div B. How are you guys feeling in this division, and what do you guys think your chances are moving forward in the rest of the season?
I feel like it's going to depend on how the rest of the... We'll have to play a few more matches, I think, to see like how Division B feels overall. I would have been happy with Division A, Division B. Either is fine with me, especially granted that at least currently our team doesn't have a whole bunch of time to practice. So I don't mind the lower of the two.
Yeah, I agree. I think we're pretty well set in B. Like, I think we'll do well mid, maybe high end of Div B. We just don't have as much time to prepare and practice as we did last season, so it'll make it a little bit more challenging. We also have some new people. I mean, they're friends we've played with for years, but they're new to the team, so it'll take us a little bit to get our communication back online.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And that follow-up question I did want to ask you guys, is it just like a purposeful handicap that you guys have dank jank on, like piggybacking internet from the local store or something? Like, is that on purpose, or is that just because his connection's bad? Like, what's the deal here?
It's hard to tell what the root cause of it is, since it apparently only happens with Heroes of the Storm. But Dank Jank is situated in Alaska, so that's also a factor.
Aha. Yeah, I've seen Dankstrom actually also is in that same situation up in Alaska, so I've seen him sometimes have the occasional connection issue just because of that. But
yeah, I mean, it worked. I told Dank Jank the strategy was just get 2 kills before you disconnect, and it's fine. We'll finish the team fight.
There we go.
And he did it, so I mean, whatever.
All right, Mongoose, you got any question for these guys?
No, I just wish you guys congratulations. Happy to see. I think there were 5 teams or 6 teams back from Div B West, and it was so competitive last season, so I was happy to see some friendly / rivalry faces. So looking forward to playing you guys here whenever we cross paths in the next couple weeks.
Yeah, thanks. I'm looking forward to it. as well. Division B last season was definitely, as you said, really competitive, especially later on in the season. So I'm looking forward to more matches as well.
I'm looking forward to it as well, Mongoose. And also, how much do we have to pay you not to ban Cho'Gall? Because we want to play it.
You guys are going to have a problem because your reputation start preceding you. You know that.
I know. I think it's way harder to do weird strats with 3 bans. Like, people just ban everything.
Well,
It's
not
true.
only that, it's harder to do weird strats when you're known as the team that does weird strats.
Well, there's always weirder strats than Cho'Gall, so...
But what?
Well, that you'll have to see.
We've tried some
Stay
bad
tuned,
ones.
ladies and gentlemen. Obscured. Do you guys have any shout-outs you want to make before we close out the night?
And Sanson, you want to go first?
Yeah, shout-outs to the team, obviously. Shout-outs to some of our friends, David and Sanchez, who are watching our games tonight, and Toast. Always fun to have people tuning in for some matches. And, of course, to our opponents getting sweaty, because they were awesome.
Nice. And I'd like to shout out you guys as casters. Thanks for hosting this and making a fun evening. I also want to do a huge shout out to Ian Sanson because he's put a lot of work in the last 2 weeks as our team manager, captain, drafter, / figuring out weird strategies, which is pretty fun to practice, but we may not pull most of them out in games. So he's put a ton of work in, so I want to shout him out for doing all that hard work.
All right.